Welcome, welcome. Let's move on and look at Slav setups against our Colle system. So the Slav will probably come through a move order like this. Now, either black would play knight to f6 and then c6, or they'll just play c6. We'll just look at it through this move order. Just know that we have all the different move orders annotated in this file, which you have access to if you look in the description below. But we're just going to continue with our standard way of developing. And here we kind of come to two different kind of main ways that black will approach these Slav setups. One is they could play a semi-Slav setup where they set up this triangle, right? And the thing to know about that is that, well, we're just going to just continue as normal. But the thing to know is that because they didn't play c5 and put pressure on our center, we don't need to play c3. So we're just going to continue as normal. Bishop goes there, supporting that break already. Just going to continue our normal setup. Castle first, and then bust, right? And because they didn't play c5, we didn't play c3. We don't want to play like a robot and always set up the triangle. We only do it if we have to, right? No sense spending time on it if we don't have to. Oops, sorry, just trying to get rid of the arrows there. And so now we can play the thematic e4 break. We're all set up for it. And so what you notice here is that they're more than likely going to take 90% of the time. We're threatening to move forward and fork their two minor pieces, right? And they don't want us to, even if they move this bishop away, they don't want us to come forward anyway and dislodge the protector of their king side. Then we'd have a pretty nice attack going on already, right? Potential for one at least. So most of the time they're going to just capture. We say, hey, fine, just let these captures happen. And we have more, we have more space in this position and our pieces are developed well. We can, because we didn't spend time playing c3 to stabilize our center against c5, we can even just play c4 ourselves here in one go. If nothing else, we can always set up with b3, bishop to b2, anchoring that d4 pawn, centralize our rooks, just sit on that extra space. And at club level, you'll be surprised the kind of opportunities we're given if we just have more space and just put our pieces on active positions and sit and wait, right? That's the beauty of it. Like I said, our brain isn't cluttered with all kinds of crap that we're remembering for long opening lines. So we just take these slight advantages and see what our opponent gives us. So that's if they set up this triangle formation. Well, they could also, when we're moving along here, they could also move their bishop out, right? And so if they move their bishop out, then the thing to remember is they're giving up control of this b7 pawn. And, they're giving up protection of it. And we noticed that in the last video in the anti-Colle setups, and we made use of it. Well, we're going to try to make use of it here as well. So let's say they go bishop to g4. Well, then the thing to know, not just in the Slav, but throughout our repertoire, when they play bishop to g4, we play c4. And what that does is, number one, it puts a little bit of pressure on the center, but it also opens up this diagonal for our queen to come to b3 and hit on b7, which this light squared bishop of black's no longer protects, right? So it makes sense. We're not going to do our regular plan over the e4 bust because this is even better, right? Make immediate use of what the weakness that they left behind when they moved that bishop out. So let's see, knight f6 is the most common. We boogie right on out. And now here, the most common thing that's going to happen is we're going to get this Mexican standoff of queens, right? It's kind of like your gunfight. You don't want to be the first one to flinch. And that's the way to think about it in these positions. So if you think about it, well, we don't want to take them, right? Like if we take them, all we're doing is opening up this rook for them. So we're making this piece better, and it didn't have to do anything to become better. Likewise, if they take us, we'll open up our rook by recapturing with the a-pawn. So that's in these Mexican standoffs. You don't want to be the first one to capture. And so what we're going to do is we're going to play c5 to induce them to capture us. And 3/4 of the time they're going to. And look at how great that score is. Almost a 2-to-1 clip for us. So we just take back. And we're sitting great here, right? We can charge this up. Look at how that bishop is restricted by that c5 pawn that we played with tempo on their queen, right? So we gain time. They recaptured. We open this up. Just a great position for us. And so, there's different move orders, different things can be done. Go ahead and look through these, different move orders. It's annotated in all the different move orders and transpositions. So we won't go over anything. The key idea is to understand these two ideas where they set up the triangle, we go for the e4 bust, right? And then we play with that extra space. If at some point they move this bishop out, they are leaving protection of that b7 pawn. So we meet it with c4 when they play bishop to g4, and then we scoot on out. So we have these kind of common themes that overlap. Just to make it kind of easy to remember, what I did is if they play bishop to f5, I just did the same head-on kind of thing. And if they take it, we'll just take with our queen, set up for the e4 bust, just roll forward, right? So very easy to remember. I tried to really work hard on not maximizing like the computer evaluation, but finding moves that have good crossovers, are easy to remember, and still score well for us. So that's kind of it on the Slav. And we'll cover the Chigorin setups next, where they play knight to c6 before moving their c-pawn. Then we'll cover some of the kingside fianchettos. And then we'll kind of just move on, I think, probably to our weekly videos on Fridays that we'll dump out on the Colle system. All right, take care.